Hey now, it's JK with you here. In this video, I want to walk you through three things. The first one is going to be a review of Steamy Co-Author. Now, I've had access to this for about 2 weeks just before it has launched, and this is absolutely the best content I have ever gone through about creating and selling and why you should be doing this over on Kindle in regards to selling and setting up books and using AI to leverage and do all the heavy lifting for this. Now, I have tried to put together a Kindle bookshelf in the past. I've actually got an experiment running right now. I published my first book on a brand new account back in October of 2025, and by doing absolutely nothing, literally just hitting publish, putting no advertising or marketing at all, that book has actually made about $150. And in part of my journey in kind of discovering how to leverage Kindle the right way, nothing has jumped out to me as much as the way, the system, the strategy that's explained inside of Steamy Co-Author. So in this video, I'm going to go through a review of that. Because I love the course so much, I've put together over 10 different bonuses worth over $1,000. I'm going to go through those bonuses with you as well in this video, and I'm going to walk through the value included in each and every bonus so you can really see how much I've packed in there. This is not fake value. There's really a ton of helpful, useful stuff that's going to help you produce books quicker by using what's inside Steamy Co-Author. And the final thing, number 3, is going to be the market itself. I want to really show you the hidden gem that Soren, who's put together this course, has identified. And this is part of the reason why I have been so converted into, now I get it. I totally understand the opportunity on Kindle. It makes perfect sense to me now, and it's all thanks to this course. So I want to start off actually with number 3, the opportunity with this niche. Okay, so this course, this Steamy Co-Author course, is all about using AI to put together books and series in the dark romance niche. Now, the reason why I am so excited about this, I'm going to move my big head out of the way, is so that you can see this is Google Trends. And this is tracking the data from 2005 all the way up to this month. And you can see the amount of search data and interest on Google specifically in that time. Now, this is over 20 years worth of information. And what we really care about here is from 2021. Since you can see this blue line starts to go up in 2021, and from that point it just goes up and up and up and up. And this is the amount of searches and interest into dark romance as a niche. I'll scroll down a little bit more, and you can see some of the things people are searching for: romance books, dark romance books, what is dark romance series, dark romance movies, dark fantasy romance. This is a huge and exploding niche, and it's been growing really steadily for the last 5 years. Now, one thing I want to point out, I do a lot of individual coaching and individual sessions talking about trend marketing. And when I'm talking to affiliates and online marketers, always, I get this question: when this line is going up like this and it's hit the top, as you can see, it's gone right to the very top of the range over here, doesn't that mean that it's already gotten to its highest? I've kind of missed the opportunity. And that is not at all what this chart means or how you should read this chart. I want to show you here this line. See how it's mostly flat from this point here back in 2010. It's mostly flat all the way up to about here in 2021, December 2021. Well, if we kind of move along and we follow along with this yellow line, we get to this first little bump right here. So we can see the line moves up, up, up until we get to this little bump right there between August 31st and September 30th. Well, if it was that exact time that you looked at this chart and to see how the dark romance niche was performing, this little bump, or what looks like a little bump right now, would have looked like this chart that you see right here. It would have been straight, 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 and immediately that little bump would have looked like all the way at the top of the range. And if we look since that point, how many times it's gone to the top, to the top, to the top, always going higher and higher and higher. And one mistake that I've seen, and after tracking many trends over the last 5 years, is that I used to make that mistake where I would see on Google Trends, the chart has already kind of gone to the maximum. It looks like I've missed it. And then after that, it just keeps going and going and going, and it becomes higher and higher and higher to such a point that this little flat section over here doesn't even become visible. It just becomes as flat and invisible as you can see everything before 2005 in this case. So using Google Trends, I have analyzed that this is definitely a great niche to be getting into. I'll change the data here to just the past 5 years, and you can see here as we change this to 5 years, we can see it's up 500%. So in the last 5 years, interest in this niche is up 500%. I also went over here to do a little bit of research into it, and you can see the self-publishing aspect, not just dark romance, people buying published books like in regular traditional bookstores. This is a story here. After I lost my job, I turned my self-publishing side hustle hustle into a full-time career. Now I'm a best-selling romance author. This is published from back here, April 27th, 2026. So depending on when you're watching this video, this is only a couple of months ago. Here's another one here, why dark romance and billionaire fiction are the most profitable niches in self-publishing. This was published an article on Medium back on June 15th, 2026. Here's another Medium article. This one is from the last 12 months, November 2025, how I made my first $1,000 as a romance author. Now, the reason I'm bringing these to your attention is that there is a growing trend where there's lots of people who are making a lot of money by producing these books. And if you go through and actually read through the competition, which is part of what you'll discover as you make your way through Steamy Co-Author, you're going to see there's a massive opportunity to get into this space. And by going through and understanding everything that the course teaches you, you're going to see how to find your little niche within that of dark romance and how incredibly profitable it can be by producing a series with the same characters. And you're going to see how you can put together different funnels based on how you can price your books in order to maximize your revenue. You're going to see lots of side ideas of ways that you can go and promote your book. Stuff I'd never considered before is here inside of Steamy Co-Author. And I would say over the last 6 months in particular, a lot of questions that I've personally received to my inbox when I put out any sort of email or I'm talking about traffic or specific ideas for marketing, a lot of people are coming back to me with questions and things about books that they've written or ways that they're trying to leverage a presence on Kindle. And I really think that this book, this course I should say, even though the topic of this course is that dark romance niche, I think there's a lot that you can learn here if you're interested in publishing or growing your Kindle bookstore in really any sort of niche or with any sort of audience. I really think the content in here, if you take the time to go through it, is really beneficial. Now, when it comes to the course, the main thing you're going to take away from this is the engine that you can use to go and build out your book. So this is actually part of the conversation. I'm going to scroll this all the way to the very, very top. So this is one single conversation, and this has been going on for quite a while now, but it actually starts out right here at the top. You can see I just need to drop in one single prompt, one little upload, and again, this is downloaded from right inside of the actual members area for Steamy Co-Author, and it just basically asks you really simple questions. Here's this, here's that. What language do you want? English is pretty good. Here's a book seed, so this is basically the general idea of the book. That's created in a separate little mini exercise you can do, which you learn about here inside of Steamy Co-Author, and basically we get to a point where the AI is doing everything for you. It just checks in with you to ask you, hey, is this going the way you want? Are you happy with how this looks? And then it writes out the content for you. So I'm in the process right now of putting together my first book using this strategy that's taught inside the members area. And the big thing, the thing that has really wowed me more so than anything else I've looked at in this space, is that the quality of the storytelling is excellent. Many of the books I've seen and many of the tools I've tried to actually go and write these AI books, the quality of the output is just not very good. The stories sometimes end up not even making sense. They kind of drift off into different directions and they don't work. And you can't make money from publishing these books by getting readers who want to go through your series if the books aren't good. So even though there's lots of AI tools out there and lots of AI processes out there for creating these AI books, there's not a lot of ways to do it well, and there's not a lot of ways that you can produce a really good quality book. I want to show you something. I went and signed up for a brand new Claude account, and this is completely, literally brand new. There's nothing preloaded in here. This is just a test account. This is even still the very first chat right here once you go and sign up for Claude. And I actually gave this one of my favorite sorts of prompts, which I call the coworker prompt. And this is basically where you give AI, in this case Claude, the sample of work that you're writing on, whether it's an email or it's a post or whatever it might be, and you say, hey, my coworker is doing this, give me some feedback that I can give to my coworker. So you can see these documents up here. These are all created by following inside the steps and just interacting with the AI and the prompts that are all put together for you inside of Steamy Co-Author. And you can basically get these little outputs like the character Bible and different anchors for the scene and your world Bible. As you make your way through the actual members area here, you're going to get all these documents created for you. There's little things that you can download and drop into ChatGPT or into Claude, and all these documents are going to be made for you. And this is basically the skeleton of your story. So I dropped this into this brand new installation of Claude and said, my coworker's writing a book. Here's some of the planning documents. Here's some of the things that they've started out with. Can you give me, basically, is the concept any good? Are the scenes good? Let me know some feedback I can give my coworker. I won't give you the full response, but I'll just kind of go through some of the highlights. I read through all 4 documents. This is a genuinely strong, well thought out project. Here's my honest take. The concept is very very, very strong. It goes through the idea. The dark romance bit that I have for this actual book is a wounded contract killer stuck for 24 hours inside a veterinarian's office where he's holding this veterinary hostage. So it's kind of a captivity story. I'll come down just to the end so we can go through just into the bottom line. This is a well-architected concept with a genuinely rare level. Remember, this is AI that wrote this, a genuinely rare level of internal discipline for the genre. The character contracts and motif planning alone put it ahead of most manuscripts. The thing I tell your coworkers to make a conscious choice about how dark they want one of the main characters to be. Now, again, we can go through, if you want, you can actually pause and kind of read over some of the things that it points out here in terms of its feedback. But the main thing I took away is that the story is actually really good. And like I said, I've gone through many of these tools to put together these Kindle books before, and most of the time the story is just very cliche and it's not actually that good. It's not exciting to read, and that's why I think most people really struggle to make money on Kindle. But following the outline and the idea and how everything's put together inside Steamy Co-Author, I was guided toward an idea that I just hadn't considered before. And it was really cool, and there was interesting twists along the way. And the whole thing was just very, very well put together. And it's all based on going through the members area here and implementing those prompts. Now, if you want to use this, there is no specific tool inside of Steamy Co-Author. Basically, it's a series of prompts and customizations that you put together by just basically copying from inside the members area here and pasting into ChatGPT. And there's a few things that are already pre-made for you, and you can just basically just literally upload them into a ChatGPT or a Claude conversation and start working with them. But that is going to be the main thing. In order to make this work for you, you're going to have either ChatGPT or Claude. If you have one of those two, you don't need a special version or anything like that. You can make this go and work for you. And that's going to go and produce out your books. Now, I wanted to put together some bonuses because of how great I think this has been. And I really went over the top with these bonuses, and I want to share them with you right now. So if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to click the link in the description. You can come over to my full review page where you can see all the different proof elements and things. I did want to share, this is actually something you can see on my full review page. I thought it was $150. It's $126 from that one book that I published back in October 2025. And that's with no advertising or anything like that. And I want to talk about that book as a part of my bonuses for Steamy Co-Author. So let me show you my bonuses here. The first one is going to be the AI book creation blueprint. Now, this is kind of my own way that I put together these Kindle books before I'd heard of Steamy Co-Author. I still want to give this to you because it's going to give you access to some tools and the overall kind of blueprint of how I put together that book that's generated $120 completely passively for me in the last 6 months. Now, I agree that's not a life-changing amount of money, but keep in mind that's one book, and that's the very first book I put together using this blueprint. So there's definitely some value to take away from that, and I think personally having access to that entire blueprint of how it came together is easily worth about $100. Now, bonus number 2 is the Architect's Framework. Now, one thing you may not know about me is that I actually went to school for English literature and film, so I'm actually pretty well versed in putting together stories. I've written many different manuscripts over the years. I've gotten lots of different outlines of novels and stuff that never actually went anywhere, but the whole process of putting together a book is something that I'm actually a bit comfortable with. I've taken classes in novel writing in the past, and this is definitely something that I feel like is really, really helpful. It's basically a one-page cheat sheet that gives you kind of guide rails for the overall story you're putting together in any niche. It basically is going to help you break things down into different acts, and it's going to be a really easy way to kind of follow along and make sure that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and some tension along the way. And I'm also giving you access to my Planning GPT. This is a really detailed custom bot that is inside of ChatGPT. You do not have to be a paid user. If you're a free ChatGPT user, you can go ahead and use this bot. And this is basically going to help you plan out your whole world and everything that you need for your book. Now, keep in mind, inside of Steamy Co-Author, you're also getting Soren's way to do it specifically for dark romance. I'm going to be giving you inside my bonuses the way you can do this for basically any niche that you want, but it also will work as well if you want to stick in that specific niche. Bonus number 4 is the Writing GPT. This is the most advanced one of all. Again, this is a custom bot. You fire this up, you activate it, you follow the steps, and you upload some things that you have from, for example, your Planning GPT, and it actually writes out the chapters for you right there in text. You can take it right out of ChatGPT and then put it into your document, and now you have basically all the words written, and the quality and the output is really, really pretty good. And this is entirely what I used to put together my book, which has made that $120 since October. I also have for you here the trending book niches cheat sheet. This is again a really simple cheat sheet that has the top most valuable niches right now on Amazon, and not just the Steamy Co-Author stuff that's covered here. There's also some other niches that maybe you haven't considered, but they really are some really good top sellers in there as well. Bonus number 6 is basically a quick start checklist, about 20 bucks. I think this is worth to kind of cut through everything and know exactly how to get started using my bonuses. Bonus number 7 is going to be everything you need to format and get ready for KDP publication. Bonus number 8 is going to be my cover generator prompt. Now I've gotten a lot of love for this. I released this actually back in October. I gave it out to a few people, and this creates really, really good book covers. These are all made just using the prompt inside of that you can just paste into either Claude or ChatGPT, but you can also use this for Gemini as well. Any sort of image creation tool, this simple text-based prompt is going to give you beautiful looking covers like you can see right here. Bonus number 9 is going to be something really special. This whole adventure into Kindle has got me so convinced, and the content inside of Steamy Co-Author has got me 100% convinced that I need to be in this space. So if I'm going to be putting together my own way into this space and actually building out a series of books and other things that I can monetize on Amazon by using what I'm teaching here, by using what's included in the course, I wanted to put together kind of a behind the scenes of building out this brand. So I'm actually going to be putting this together on Substack and charging $10 per month for it, but you are actually going to get free access to this as one of the bonuses here. And big part of the reason that you might want to join this is that not only am I going to cover how I'm producing the books by using what I've learned inside of Steamy Co-Author, as well as inside my bonuses, the GPTs that you'll have access to, not only am I going to cover that stuff as well, but the actual marketing side of it I really want to cover, since that is my background. I want to show you some different ways, some out-of-the-box ways I'm going to go and use marketing to go and get my book into more readers and therefore generate more revenue from the little funnels and different techniques and ideas that I've learned to really maximize the revenue based on what I learned inside of Steamy Co-Author. So I'm going to be covering that as part of a Substack that people will have to pay $10 a month for. You're going to get free access to it as part of your bonuses if you decide to pick up Steamy Co-Author. Now, bonus number 10 is going to be a speed run through the members area. You can see here there is a lot of content. The content is all good, don't get me wrong, I've gotten a ton of ideas from this, but there's a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff to go through, there's a lot of stuff to understand, and just kind of understanding where each piece of the puzzle goes together, personally, I found to be a little bit overwhelming coming into this as someone who doesn't have a ton of experience over on Kindle. So I put together this speed run, which is less than 15 minutes, and it basically goes from absolutely no idea for a book whatsoever to basically chapter 1 completely finished. You're going to see how to use everything inside of the Steamy Co-Authors members area to go and put together your first chapter and how that speed run is actually going to work. Bonus number 11 is going to be what I call the secret production layer. So there is actually a series of documents and tools that you're going to create for yourself by just copy and pasting and following along with the instructions inside of Steamy Co-Author. However, there is one thing that is completely missing. I think it's one of the most important planning documents that you can use, and it's something that I actually learned about inside one of those novel writing classes I mentioned back in my post-secondary education. I'm going to show you what that secret layer is, and this is going to be the one thing that really helps to remove so much of that AI blandness, so much of that kind of boring, tedious, cliche nonsense that AI comes up with. This secret production layer is basically going to help make sure that's never a problem for you. And this has been a major thing with putting together my own book, which I've dropped in here and I showed you earlier in the video. I said, this is all the details of the book from my coworker. Give me some feedback from my coworker. And it went through, and one thing it did say is that the structure is really good. Everything's kind of unique about it and interesting. And that's because of this secret production layer. Don't miss it. This is really important, especially if you're doing any kind of publishing on Kindle. You're trying to create fiction books in particular. This is going to help you avoid a lot of those cliches. And finally, number 12, this one is adult viewer discretion is advised. This is the Spice Amplifier. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that with the Steamy Co-Author system, what you're following here is the production of books and series in the dark romance niche. And one thing you need to know about the dark romance niche is that the quality and the type of output you're going to get from the more intimate scenes that come from, say, ChatGPT or Claude are going to be very, very softcore compared to what is actually selling in the marketplace. I've done some research into the Amazon books. You can go and take a look yourself on Kindle Unlimited. go and check out some of the books that are the top sellers right now and look at the intimate scenes. You're going to notice that they are pretty steamy, they're pretty spicy, and that is why I want to show you in bonus number 12 how you can take that really dull, boring output from ChatGPT or from Claude and how you can really increase the graphic nature of it. Now, you don't need to go fully extremely graphic, you can kind of dial it into where you want to, but it's certainly going to feel a lot steamier and a lot spicier than anything you're going to get from ChatGPT or Claude. And when we're selling into the dark romance niche, that is something these readers care about. If it's something you can see in all of the bestsellers, they all have these relatively intense intimacy scenes. You need to be able to put that into your book if you're going to have any chance of getting that additional readership and those additional book series and those additional reviews and everything else that's going to help grow your revenue. So that's what I'm going to include here for bonus number 12. And this is going to give your readers every reason to keep on binging through. So as you can see, 12 different bonuses, all of them are specific to go and help you get more value out of Steamy Co-Author. There's nothing in here that is just, complete trash. I'm actually trying to give you as many tools as I can to get you into both producing, and if we take a look here at number 9, this is going to be yours free. You're also going to get access to what I'm going to do to guerrilla market my book, how I'm going to get readers, how I'm going to get reviews, how I'm going to use that to grow into eventually building out a series on Amazon. Now, is that series going to be based on this first book I put together? I'm not too sure. This is just kind of my first venture, my first book into using the Steamy Co-Author system, but considering this is my first time using it, I am extremely impressed by what I've gotten, and as you can see here, a completely independent Claude overlook of how everything is going so far is very favorable too. So I know this has been a slightly longer video, but there's been a lot to go through between the bonuses, the review, and the big opportunity inside of dark romance. Look at this, a 500% growth in 5 years is huge. That's something that if you can monetize, you should definitely think about it if you are an internet marketer. And this is one of the easiest ways to monetize this niche. So this is everything coming together. Like I said, this has been a huge impact for me. And this is definitely what has made me think I got to get into Kindle. And I think this is the way I'm going to get into it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Check out the link down below if you're on YouTube to go and get everything through my link, including all your bonuses. And hey, if you're already on that page, click the link, get started, lock in your bonuses. And I can't wait to see you inside the Substack and the little behind the scenes before I launch that Substack. Thanks for watching.